Happy Friday. I'm sitting at my desk that I have moved since the last time. That's right. For some reason, it's still in the same room, but for some reason the configuration wasn't working. The like feng shui of it, I believe that's the way you say that, didn't feel quite right. So it's been moved. It's feeling refreshing. And at the same time, I'm amazed that we are almost through the first month of 2026. And I have continued my feisty reset, and I have continued to think about what I am doing and what I'm not doing. And this week, I've been spending a lot of time, even as I was writing my newsletter to get ready for tomorrow, excuse me, for Saturday's launch, not tomorrow, tomorrow. Yeah, my days are all mixed up. But as I was thinking about this, I was thinking that for a long time, I thought leadership was always about saying yes. And yes to opportunity, yes to being the responsible party, yes to being available, adaptable, and agreeable. And although I have said yes a lot and I have done all of those things a lot, experience has taught me something a little bit quieter about that. And I've also discovering far more powerful. Every yes from me, the feisty PM, carries a cost. And if I don't choose my no's deliberately, they choose me anyway through exhaustion, resentment, and like a complete loss of clarity. So in the last few weeks in the beginning of 2026, as I've told you, I'm not making resolutions. I didn't pick a word for the year, but I am making refusals. And that is, I'm saying no to the urgency of the first of the year. I'm not picking up and carrying work that I really don't believe is mine to hold. I'm saying no to conversations that ask me to explain or over explain my worth or my need to be in the conversation. I'm saying no to environments where the boundaries aren't clear. And I am definitely saying no to perfectionism because for me, perfectionism has often been just like dressed up as professionalism, and they're not the same thing. But I was thinking about all these no's because it feels like no has a finite or a stop or an end. And I then realized that the no's are actually not about saying no because I'm not interested. What the no's are for me are actually me building structure to create space for me to think clearer, to lead steadier, and to focus on work that actually matters to me. So, in other words, I am discovering that every no I say is in service to a truer yes. And I want to continue to say no to urgency as a default. I want to continue to say no to carrying work that isn't mine. I want to continue to say no to shrinking and over explaining my worth. I want to continue to say no to lack of boundaries. And I really want to focus on the idea that I'm trying to build structure with intention. Because I believe, as the feisty PM, that strong leadership isn't measured by how much I can hold. I'm going to say that again because I need to hear myself say it. I believe that strong leadership isn't measured by how much I can hold. I'm going to say it one more time. I, the feisty PM, believe that strong leadership isn't measured by how much I can hold. Yeah. For someone as stubborn as a mule like I am, I need to say those things over and over and over again to really like lock it in. So every no I say this year is in service to a truer yes. That that statement is what I want to be true of the journey that I'm on. And I want to release things well and also recognize that in releasing them, I'm not releasing them with fear, that they're never going to be opportunities that come back to me again, or that I am somehow FOMO, that I am afraid I've missed out. Fear of missing out is an incredibly powerful force as humans. And I don't want to dwell on that because for every loss in the past, and I've had many, and for every massive change in the past, and I continue to have many, there's always opportunity for those no's to have created the way for the truer yes. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Here's the question I want to leave you with. What are you willing to stop tolerating, even if it's familiar in 2026? What are you willing to stop tolerating, even if it's familiar? Follow me on LinkedIn, read my Feisty newsletter, continue to join me for this vlog. It's just something I'm doing. I'm doing it for me. I mean, I speak to you as though you're listening, but for many, they're not hearing, and that's okay because the journey is self-reflective. The journey is about expanding who I am, and it's also about recognizing that when I say out loud these things, it's not just for others to hear. In fact, it's actually more for me to hear myself. So I wish you all the best. We'll see you next week.